There we go. All right, happy Sunday, y'all. Boruto 182, you already know what the fuck it is, bruh. First of all, man, let me just say that I fucked up because, well, I figured out something after watching this and after this episode, right? So I figured out I'm reading some fucked up versions of the manga, dog, and they're not totally skewed, but they are a little slightly like the translations. Like there's certain translations which I thought were facts, and now I'm figuring out through the anime and then looking through Reddit and shit, looking through motherfucking other sources that certain things got a little mashed up. So like, let me just say first things first. I was always under the impression that Kashin Koji placed Katasuke under the Genjutsu. Now I'm finding out that wasn't facts, bruh. And I know there was something else, like the whole, what's her name, Delta being Amado's daughter. Maybe that's not even true either. Maybe that's slightly different. Maybe, I don't know. Because I've seen a different variation of what was said between that little interactment. So it seems like the anime is waking me up to some shit. And another thing, what I really appreciate with this episode especially, last episode had a little bit of this too, but I love how we're getting extra information on things that we didn't necessarily know. There's, like, I don't know, because, like, I'm a fan of anime exclusive content. Like, the anime canon, I fuck with the anime canon because it adds more layer to the universe, it adds more layer to the story, right? But this one was like, this added some fucking seasoning to every fucking thing that happened. Because I was going through this little thing where it's kind of like as a reader of the motherfucking manga, even though it might be the bootleg version, I got a little bit worried about coming in, watching the episode, and not being so excited about it. But this episode was pretty dope. Like, there was no real action. Mujino got stabbed. But, like, the interactions between Jigen and Amato, that was probably, like, my favorite moment of this episode. The shit that we figured out about Ao's reasoning to even be in the Leaf Village in the first place was dope. I don't think they included that in the manga at all. And even Mitsuki was probably low-key. But, all right, so, like, my MVPs, number one has to go to Jigen. Number two would have to be Mitsuki. And three, I would say Ao. Maybe I could switch between 2 and 3, but number one for sure Jigen, just because how, like, he kept it G the whole fucking episode, even though we only got him for like about 5 seconds, right? But let me go through this list, man. You already know how I give it up. It's a list based on the things that popped into my head as the episode rolled out, so there's no greatest to least. This is just a thought process of how the show rolled out and, you know, certain things I was thinking and shit like that. But number one, I knew for whatever reason, because, you know, I got my little breakfast, my coffee and shit, and I had to hit pause because I had to get myself together, because, you know, when they give you the episode where there's no intro right away, it's gonna be something. If we gonna give you some information, it's gonna get, nigga gonna get his hands thrown, something like that's gonna happen. I knew what to expect, like I said earlier, because I read this shit, but they still were able to, I don't know, they were still, like, I liked this episode way more than I liked reading the manga. Like, and at this point, I'm kind of like, bruh, I kind of wish I didn't read the manga, because I felt like this would have the potential to be like the Kara Equation arc where Boruto was in that little fucking castle, whatever the fuck, and then, like, shit was just happening left and right. Motherfucking the queen ended up being murked by them Hayes Village shinobi or whatever the fuck. Like, it was just like not knee jerk, but like suspense after suspense after suspense. I felt like this would be like, what the fuck, nigga? Like, how? Like, I felt like that had that type of potential. So I'm more so excited for my niggas who don't read the manga. Shout out to my nigga Omar. Shout out to my nigga Sebastian. I'm excited for them and their reactions to see how the shit rolls out. As for point number, oh yeah, also crispy ass animation. This animation was pretty dope. I'm starting to realize, though, because I've watched other animes like Jujutsu Kaisen and shit, and even older, like Naruto Shippuden, like, I like their animation more than I do like Boruto, because Boruto seems like a drama that's a little bit more painted, you know? It's like it's just like, I don't know, it's kind of almost Americanized anime, it seems, but it's not. Like, I fuck with the story, dog. I know the fights and shit are gonna get dope. But as for point number two, guy. What the fuck? Oh yeah, so like as Mujino gets stabbed, there's like a guy from Victor's lab. I don't recognize the motherfucker. I know there was a couple of dudes who escaped, so maybe that guy ended up getting murked because it was the wife, that one nigga's wife, the dude that escaped, and also at first I thought, I was like, damn, did they put fucking Deepa's face on a little puppet just to be fucked up like that? Like, but it was just like some random ass bystander, right? Which had me thinking two different type of things. Like, one, could this just be like a highlight of pure cruelty? Because like I said, allegedly these puppets were made to be practice targets for Kawaki, right? Or the vessel. I don't know. Fuck it, nigga. Fuck it. They were made to be like little test subjects for the vessel to fight against, right? But the thing is, why even go out your way to put a fucking face over one of the puppets if you weren't expecting the puppet to be found in the first place, or if you weren't expecting, like, you know, it just seems like a sign or a message, like, because I don't think any of the other puppets had faces on them. Would you? Like, it just seems a little bit odd. It seems a little bit different, right? Like, what's the point of even putting on a type of disguise for the puppets if they're just going to be target practice? Is it just, like I said, pure, like, fuck these niggas, you know, like, this is how disrespectful we are. Even in practice, we dishonor the dead type shit. Or is it more so of a thing like, hey, remember this motherfucker? We got him, you know? Now, on to point number 3. Like I said, expecting for someone to see the vessel or the blimp in the first fucking place, right? But into point number 3. Now, in the long, because I was a little bit butthurt about this, like, so that whole conversation with Mitsuki and Boruto when he's like, are you gonna let Sarada go by herself, bro? I was a little bit like, damn, they kind of changed this shit. Like, but that's like my initial reaction as like, oh, this is not, you know, purely from the manga. It's a little bit remixed. But at the same time, it allowed me to appreciate Mitsuki's development a whole fucking lot more. And it makes those last statements seem less random. Not last statements, but like the previous arcs, like the whole going to this hidden stone and shit. It just makes it more valid. And this is like a thing I was talking about in my last video when we get to Boruto and how he views the ninja tech, right? How he views the ninja tech after fucking training with Kakashi and all that shit, trying to get these fucking Rasenguns, getting bodied by Deepa a few times before he finally defeats him with his team. And his reaction to Naruto using a ninja tech in his battle when he's trying to prove to his father, like, yo, dad, I'm a real fucking shinobi now. I don't have to cheat no more. Look at my jutsus. I'm doing this shit naturally, organically. And it makes sense why he would behave this way. Whereas when you were watching the anime, it's like, damn, Boruto's progressing. He's becoming like a legit, he's maturing. He's maturing, right? But if you were to read the manga, like in these earlier episodes, it's like he's still immature during arcs that we have not seen yet in the anime, which kind of contradict the character of Boruto in the manga versus in the anime. But this is fleshed out a whole lot more when you get those backstories, as well as what I'm saying right now with Mitsuki, right? So with Mitsuki, he has a whole different type of conversation. It's kind of the same, whereas he's like, look, in the manga, he's kind of like, hey, I'll go. If you don't go, I'm not going. That's the thing. But then he kind of convinces him with the whole, like, you can't, but you know, if I don't go, Sarada's gonna go by herself. And it's a little bit more convincing. It's a little bit like a roundabout way. And it was kind of like weird because he's like wrapping his hands around him and whispering in the nigga's ear and shit. But in this one, he's kind of like, look, if you don't go, I would go. That's my own line of thinking, but I have a free will now. I'm a different type of person, so I gotta go. It's like more so about Mitsuki being his own person, making his own decisions. He's like, look, bruh, even me, like, I used to fucking just do what you would ever do, but like, dog, thinking about this shit clearly, I'm not gonna let that bitch die. She ain't ready for this shit. She might get hurt doing this shit. Although, you know, they talking down on Sarada low key, cause Sarada could throw them fucking hands. We already know what the fuck she about. But at the same time, because when you look at Mitsuki in the manga, he's more like, kind of like Sai, where he's very intelligent, he knows shit, but he kind of just says things in a very like throw a wrench in the fucking wheel type of way, where it's kind of like, oh yeah, like that mark on Boruto's hand, and everyone's like, what the fuck? Or, oh yeah, I'm fucking made out of DNA and shit. Like, everyone's like, what the fuck did you just say? Did you just say you're a fucking clone or whatever the fuck? Like, he'll know some shit, perceive some shit, have conversations between him and Sasuke, like, hey, this is all about that mark on his hand, right? Like, he clearly knows some shit, but it's like he's more awkward. It comes off more as like a random ass, like, dude, you're kind of weird, but you're cool and you're strong, and you just say shit at the wrong time. It's like a little bit different, whereas in this, it's more explained like, look, I'm growing into becoming a human. I'm making my own fucking will, or I have my own will, I make my own choices. And he convinces Naruto, I mean, not Naruto, but Boruto in a similar way. Where the fuck was I? And maybe, and then also compare the two, maybe his personality, this is just me thinking, like, maybe his personality is the same in both the manga and the anime, talking about Mitsuki. Whereas the anime kind of had a more of a time to flesh out that personality, whereas in the manga it's just so cut and paste, cut and dry, where it makes him seem more awkward, or just, I don't know, it just makes him seem a little bit different in the manga, just because they don't have the time, I guess, or the space to write his full out character. Plus it's more so about Boruto. Like in the manga, it's just Boruto, Naruto, Sasuke, and occasional, and well, Kawaki too sometimes, and of course the villains. Now where we at? Point number 4. Now Jigen is that nigga. That's my point number 4. Jigen is that nigga. The way he just breaks down every fucking thing that's been happening as far as the double crosser goes, we get his fucking motive for this unnecessary mission. Because if you know, in the manga, Jigen has a power to just, Jigen has a certain power where another character in the future is going to ask, yo, if he could do this, why the fuck did he send us to do, you know, like, why are we on this rescue mission if he could do this? Like, and then we get his true motive for this unnecessary mission, this unnecessary test, right? It's really a test on his own team, bruh. He basically, you watch the anime, I don't want to kind of explain. I just want to explain what I think about this whole situation in the first place, because I don't want to be one of them niggas who just tell you what the fuck happened. Like, bro, I could watch the fucking anime myself, right? But he gives you his whole motive, and he basically kind of just pretty much, that conversation with Amato, bro. That conversation with Amato. Look, Amato is way too intelligent, and Jigen knows this himself. Amato is way too intelligent to suddenly play dumb. Like, so what are you saying? Is there another traitor? Like, he's all like nervous. And if he were a smoker, he would be like, you've seen how he wants to get that cup of coffee, right? At that point, he would probably be, I need a cigarette. Like, it's like let's check this out about Amato. Let's see if every time he's in a jam, does he go for a cup of coffee? Because it seemed like that was more like of a blanket type of thing. Like, now I got to get a cup of coffee, because he's kind of like, I told you this because I know you're the one who could handle this, you know, type shit. This is Jigen talking to Amato. Amato goes to get a fucking cup of coffee. Jigen, like a fucking pimp, hey, yo, bruh, pour me one too, nigga. Like, pour me one too. That was probably one of my favorite moments of this fucking episode. Because, like, Jigen's in this spot getting fixed the fuck up. He's getting, he's getting altered or whatever the fuck. And he just sighs. He's like, ugh. And then it's kind of like letting him know, like, hey, bro, I know there's another fucking traitor. And then another thing that happened, this is on to my point 5, right? This is on to my point 5. He says that the vessel had moved. And of course, he felt that through his karma mark. So the vessel moves, and Victor would be incapable in doing that. So whoever fucking moved, like, that's kind of weird. That's kind of strange. Like, are only certain people able to move the vessel? Being, of course, I can't say, get spoilers, but if Amato theoretically, say, because Amato kind of tweaks on everybody's body, would he have access? Would he have like a puppeteering-like access to certain bodies? How he could, damn, I don't want to say that. There's certain things he does to other characters where it's kind of like, he has a little bit more control than we thought. So is he like a puppet master in a way where he could kind of play people like video games? He could kind of control people all from a computer type shit. Can he do that? Are there other types of ways where he doesn't necessarily use jutsu, but he uses technology to kind of be almost, I guess, like a Kabuto, where he kind of reincarnated motherfuckers and shit during the war? But yeah, that interaction between Jigen and Amato was dope. Jigen, he has me thinking like all of this is just a fucking setup. Like, the blimp, maybe he crashed the blimp. Did he crash the blimp himself? Did he crash the blimp himself? Because look, I have another theory, bruh. And it has to tie with code. It has to tie with code. Because Amato also says, oh, and I have to go to that fucking place, that fucking lot. Ugh, I hate going to that place. I'm thinking this is where Sasuke had seen the Ten Tails. Now he has to go over there to investigate. Amato has to go over there to investigate, right? I'm thinking that was the true destination of, well, fuck. I'm thinking that's usually where they train Kawaki. I'm sure Kawaki has been there before. And shit. Fuck it. Spoiler alert. This is spoiler alert. Nigga, this is for my manga niggas only. I feel like, cause we know Code wears that shit on his face, right? He wears that, he has a little scar. Now I was rereading some of the shit. I think Goro, Boro, one of the two, like Kawaki has fought some of the inner members in training before, and he had totally like obliterated a motherfucker's jaw. I feel like Kawaki has fought Code before, and that's why he wears that little thing across his mask. Cause these are inner members of Kara, right? These are inner members of Kara. Not too many people should be able to get into fights with these people. Not too many people should be able to, they shouldn't have many battle scars is what I'm trying to say. So I'm assuming he has fought with Kawaki before. And I'm also assuming that the big three, or there's really a big two. There's Jigen and then there's Code. I feel like they're the real, like those two are the main motherfuckers within the Kara organization who kind of would die for this organization. Whereas other people are just talents that are there. We already seen that how they give it up towards each other. They kind of just get it on each other's nerves type shit. But I feel like that's usually where they train the motherfucking vessel. And especially because they say, like, only certain people are able to fucking alter with it, move it type shit. The vessel had moved. Jigen can't, or Victor can't do that shit, so I know someone else fucked with it. Now, let's see, what the fuck? Or maybe he could sense things through the vessel. Maybe while he's, maybe, like, that's another thing that they don't know about Jigen. He could sense, well, fuck. Well, the karma, I don't know, bro. We kind of know, well, if you tie shit together, you kind of know Jigen is connected to that vessel. So I'm thinking maybe he can sense things through that vessel so he could spy on motherfuckers who toy with the most prized possession of the Kara organization. That's like a fucking, it's like a Trojan horse type shit. Like, okay, I know what you niggas is on because I get to see who's fucking with me while I'm not, you know, around. Like, I'm just, like, that's basically his shadow clone, right? Because there's another moment further down the line where, you know, Jigen is kind of choking that motherfucker out. Like, yo, you advance. That's where I'm kind of like split. Like, does his consciousness shift between the two, between, you know, Jigen and the fucking vessel? Like, when he's holding himself and he's kind of looking at himself in the mirror, do they split like that? I don't know. But on to point. Oh, yeah. So, and also about the coffee. This is just a little, this is still 0.5, but this is just a little thing. Because we know in the manga, Amato smokes cigarettes. I'm glad in the anime they kind of switched it up to a coffee dude, to coffee, because when Jigen tells that nigga to pour him a coffee, look, think about it. Jigen smoking a cigarette, he does not, that don't seem in a character. Jigen a nigga that like to drink wine, he like to drink coffee. He different, dog. He ain't out here chain smoking, bro. He ain't on that human shit, dog. He ain't on that mere mortal type shit, bro. So it's different. I'm glad. So like these slight little changes that at first kind of seem like, yo, dog, you turning from the story. It plays out well in the manga. Like, they become things that you appreciate. At least for me personally. Oh, I'm spitting on you niggas, I'm sorry. But I appreciate those little changes and shit. Let me wrap this shit up because I'm, you know, bleeding through my time. 6. Now, nobody knows where Al has been. So we get to this point where he's talking on the train. Mitsuki's like, yo, you have never been back to your village? And because he's like, he seems like unaware about what the shit's going on. Boruto's talking about field trips. So he's like, dog, we changed, dog. What the fuck? The mist on field trips? And Katasuke, who's, you know, been his doctor. Hey, bro, you remember when the last time you seen me was? Nah, it's shit. Nigga, I don't know. You know, so it's kind of like, where have you been, Al? You know, where have you been? We know he's connected to the inner now, or the Kara in general because of the meeting on the train. So maybe he's been in the cut with them in the meantime. Maybe. And then this is where I told you, like, I thought Kashin Koji had placed Katasuke under Genjutsu. So we realized it was Al. He extracts the information. He goes back to the motherfucking doctors and gets worked on. Now, I don't think he necessarily stole information from them. in order to go back to Amato, I feel like Amato has the best science in the fucking game. I just feel like it's more so, hey, let's see where these people are when it comes to science. I don't know if it's necessarily let's steal from the leaf. It's kind of like keeping tabs on the competition, keeping tabs on the future enemy. Because as a card, you're keeping tabs on the fucking nations as well as the greatest one in the fucking universe, right? So it's more so like, let's see where these people are. Because they always refer to their fights as tests. Oh, we need some more data. We need some more field research. Let's kind of analyze our opponent to see how strong they are. Kind of how Naruto fights, where or any fight, they're kind of just throwing like light little jabs to see where exactly each other are on power scaling. I think this whole thing is a setup to see where the leaf is powerfully. Are we ready to attack? Are these guys as good as we think they are? 1.7, that screwdriver scene still fucking hit, dog. And it was way better. It was pumped the fuck up in the anime versus in the manga, which gets me to be more excited about what we're gonna see in the future, because that little scene, and Mitsuki is a real fucking nigga, bruh. Mitsuki's talking like, yo, bruh. Everyone else was all scared. Katasuki talking like, dog, I shit on myself. I think I'm gonna die 5 minutes sooner. Mitsuki is the only real nigga who was like, bruh, you know I almost attacked your ass, right? That's my nigga Boruto. You pulling shanks on niggas and shit on that motherfucking post-traumatic stress disorder. I almost had to fuck you up, bruh. And number 8, we got the reasoning for Ao's visit. He had to go there, place Katasuki under Genjutsu. We see a man in the hood. I thought that shit was Kashin Koji. It ended up being Ao the whole fucking time. So he was just going back to see if a motherfucker remembered anything. If not, if he did, I'm gonna have to murk you, boy. I'm have to body you, son. And we're gonna leave that there, bro. Let me just say thank you to my niggas. Shout out to all my. This was a good one. This was a fun one to do. I drank me some little coffee. Shout out to my nigga Jigen. Shout out to Amado. Fuck Amado, he cool. I fuck with Amado, but Jigen one of them niggas, bro. Jigen, he's getting fleshed out. I want more Jigen. I want to debate. I want Jigen to be one of the greatest villains we've ever seen in the Naruto universe, because I'm just ready for this shit, bro. I'm just leave that there. Let me know what y'all think about Code Kawaki. Let me know what you think about, cause nigga, whatever the fuck, nigga. If you got comments, comment, bro. I'm trying to go up, bro. I'm trying to go up. Please, my niggas, love you niggas. It is what it is, bro, baby. Peace.